Yo, so we back in here for another edition of F-ya-Motha, and I came across this on Twitter a few days ago. Hopefully I ain't lost in the sauce, got playing catch up like mustard. But a lot of people seem to think that because Jasmine Crockett doesn't sound ratchet in previous videos, and now she's doing all these TikToks and sounding ratchet and have all these hood one-liners about Donald Trump, that somehow she's false. Now, she is fake and fraudulent. I'm not gonna say she isn't. But when the hell has politics ever been about how the hell you speak colloquialisms? They're playing the same thing, trying to pander to us, and how the Democrats were trying to appeal to us with Kamala Harris on how she was so black and she identified with urban black people, even though that was far from the truth. She's not even married to a black man. Not only that, they were trying to pander her off to us as a black American. Now, while she is American, she's not a black person. She's not even a racially black person. Like, she's racially ambiguous, to say the least. Right? For all the people that don't know what that means, go read a book. But the Republicans ain't shit because they trying to do the opposite, but the same thing. They're trying to say, see, this Democrat politician isn't urban, isn't real. What the fuck do a stuffy white man from the Republican Party know about what the fuck real is? Right? You got this jackass right here, Todd Starnes, on Twitter. I don't know who the hell this guy is, but he's wearing a suit, so he looks like he might be of a news reporter caliber. He posted on Twitter, Jasmine Crockett wants you to think she's from the hood, that she grew up on the streets. The exact opposite is true. She attended an exclusive day school where tuition is nearly 35 G's per year. She also attended Rhodes College, a private school where tuition is nearly $55,000. Now, let me just give y'all a disclaimer, and if you're a jackass and you ain't watched the rest of the video, you probably should, so you'll get the full scope of it. If I say all this and you still don't understand English, I don't know what to tell you. You might want to get some therapy. But first of all, I'm gonna just put out here, I don't like Jasmine Crockett. I think she's a fraud. I think she's a Democrat snake, and I think she's a bootleg. That what I will say. She is a tool for white supremacy. Now, let's not get it twisted. The Democrat and the Republican Party are just two different wings on the same bird. However, she is a black skinned person, and I don't know if she's an immigrant from the Caribbean or have African roots. But I do know she's a black skinned woman, which racially she's black. So there's an allegiance to that. I'm always hold down black people unless they just blatant buck dancing coons. She's an idiot and she don't want us to get our 5,000 and she questions reparations. However, I haven't heard nothing that's damning that would categorize her as a buck dancing coon. Now I do think she be shoe shining like a mug, and she do be pandering for the Democratic Party, right? But I think it's a hustle for her. So I will defend her in one breath, saying, while I don't like her, when the hell is your realness or your hoodness? And this guy goes on to say she didn't grow up on the streets. What the fuck does that mean? Do white people really think, and I'm speaking to upper class or affluent white people. Clearly this guy must have grew up with a couple of dollars. He don't seem or look broke. Do white people of any means think that we grew up like on the streets? I mean, literally on the streets like a vagrant. Most black people grew up in a household. If you're over the age of, I'll say 40, you probably grew up in a two-parent household. This misnomer that niggas didn't grow up with their dad. I'm 42. Most black people a few years older than me, Gen X, 45, 46, 47, 40, a lot of them grew up in the household with the dad and the mom. A lot of niggas was married in the 70s. I don't know why people of not a part of the black community just seem to think that niggas grew up on the streets like vagabonds, or we grew up with single moms. That was an epidemic that started literally in the late 80s, early 90s. Jasmine Crockett, I don't know. She looked like she's about 38, 39, 40, right? The 80s. She might have been one of those households that, if all this shit is true, that she attended a school that cost $35,000 and a private school that cost 55 grand. She probably grew up in this household with a mom and a dad. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say that. So yeah, she's not putting on a different accent. She's not sounding like a ratchet. That's not hard to do. I grew up in the hood. I know how to turn hood speak off and talk like I got some goddamn sense. Now, I'm from the Midwest, so we have like generic accents. I don't know if a lot of people when I moved to Atlanta said I sounded white because I was articulate. That's not that ain't no sweat off my back. That just means I know how to pronounce, I know how to enunciate shit, I know how to articulate words, I use more than one syllable words, I know how to use 6-7 syllable words, I know how to use uncommonly used words. When T.I. first said expeditiously, I knew exactly what he said. That doesn't mean that we not from the streets or we ain't from the hood. And when I say the streets, the only people that's from the streets is people that actually sold drugs, sold cat, rob people, burglarize houses, scams, stuff like that. That's street activity. No, she didn't grow up as a criminal. That's all the streets is, criminal activity. What are we talking about here? And because she went to all these schools and became a politician, I'm assuming that she never had to hustle them draws. So no, she didn't grow up on the streets. Just because you talk ratchet don't mean shit. There's a lot of black people I know around the US that sound ratchet and didn't grow up in the hood. You don't actually have to grow up in the hood to pick up on slang, lingo, ebonics, colloquialism, shit like that. You a lot of black people too that live in quote unquote good neighborhoods or good households and with both parents got some cousins that grew up in the hood, some family friends, some nieces, some aunts. Hell, even if you grew up in a household with means, your mom probably was fucked up growing up. Your dad probably grew up in the hood. Like, that is, I don't know what these white Republicans are detached from reality. Not only that, they're making bad arguments. That's not a good like talking point. See, she didn't grow up in the hood. She's not real. What does that even mean, bro? You're not even real. Not even that. You didn't grow up in the streets, on the streets, in the hood, and then how you know? This is what they're like detached from reality. They seem to think because a person talks well, has a good job, knows how to articulate, hell, even got a degree, that they somehow ain't they less of a black person. That's literally what they're trying to tell us. The Republicans are literally trying to say because she didn't grow up in the hood that she's less black, and that shit ain't gonna work. Now she's less black in my opinion because she's a bootleg panter, right? And she's a part of a party that's unscrupulous scumbags. But like I said, I think it's a hustle, so she's trying to line her pockets up. So I'm gonna let her slide. However, don't come talking to us like telling us who is black. That's almost as worse as when Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for him, you ain't black. The fuck does he know about blackness? And how do you question my blackness if I don't vote for you? Make that make sense. That didn't even make sense when he said it. That's why I knew he had Alzheimer's or suffered from dementia. You just said something. I don't know if that was on a cue card or teleprompter. You sounded crazy as cat shit. So I'm a defender in one breath and say, like, this woman is knowing when to like code switch and when not to. Like, yeah, I'm not going to talk with the same voice that I may talk with alternative news sources or TikTok videos. You know what I'm saying? Like, and literally a lot of people that turn the shit on and off, including rappers and politicians, a lot of them got college degrees. Meg Thee Stallion went to school, got a college degree. What are we saying here? Plies got a degree. A lot of rappers got college degrees, but they still sound hood because it's part of the culture, right? Now it's a segment of the culture, but like I said, you're not far removed and got family members from the inner cities, so it's not hard like to turn it on and off. Like, I don't know why Republicans be making these stupid ass arguments. Like, don't come to Twitter with this shit. You not getting that over on nobody. Anyways, I was gonna play this early on, but I'm gonna leave this video with a clip of Jasmine Crockett sounding like she got some damn sense, and why I probably would have voted for her at the time. Now she's just a sellout.
Absolutely. First of all, it's good to see you in the new year. You know, no one could have told me that when I went down to Austin, now it looks like a little bit over a year ago, that I would be running for Congress. It's just not what my plan was. But what I've always decided is that I would step up when there was a need. Listen, he up there, he's spewing all kinds of nonsense and bullshit. Let me just be real. And we weren't gonna sit for that shit. We wouldn't, you know. But when she called me and said, I think it's time for me to retire, and you're the one that I believe should take my seat, I really was kind of caught off guard. I didn't anticipate that. If anyone knows anything about the Congresswoman, they know. We showed up, and if he had some sense, then maybe we would have been about that life. But y'all know he ain't got no sense. So please give some love. This took a little bit of coordinating to do, for sure. We got some cool shirts. You know, the congressional seat is over 4 times as large as my House seat. And I was just starting to get into the rhythm of doing constituent services and things like that. We got Madam Williams, who just happens to have the honorary seat. It's not even honorary because she's holding it down, y'all. But the legend himself, John Lewis, that is the seat in which she currently serves. So she honored his legacy. This is the message that she wanted to send today.
And I'm out.
No.